You've already understood. You just haven't realized it yet. No one taught you how to see what isn't said. The truth is never in the words, it's in what people try to hide, but can't. Perhaps you felt this before. Someone tells you that everything is fine, but their gaze shifts away. The smile appears, but it's too brief. Their voice says one thing, but their body trembles slightly. And inside, a part of you whispers, "Something's off here." Yet you silence that instinct. You believe what you hear, ignore what you feel, and so day after day you interact with people you may have never truly seen. But what if I told you there's a way to read anyone with absolute clarity? Not through magic, not through manipulation, but through something more subtle, the truth that slips through gestures. Machiavelli believed that human behavior was a performance, a carefully constructed play. But every mask has cracks, and if you know where to look, you'll see things that no one else sees. In this video, I'm going to show you 18 hidden psychological truths based on the teachings of a more sensitive, emotional, and real Machiavelli. Truths that will forever change how you see others, and more importantly, how you see yourself. But before I show you the first truth, I need to share something that almost no one notices. People lie. But they don't just lie to others, they lie to themselves. And that's the first thread we're going to pull, because the first lie always lives in the mirror. You'll understand this in just a moment. But first, imagine the following situation. Someone who talks too much, who laughs loudly, who always presents themselves as strong. What if that's not strength? What if it's desperation? The answer lies in the first truth, and once you discover it, you'll never be able to unsee it. The truth is that no one lies better than someone who lies to themselves. And most do this every day, not out of malice, but out of fear. That's why the first truth you need to see is, everyone wears a mask. Not because they are false, but because they don't feel safe being who they really are. The woman who seems overly confident may be on the brink of a breakdown. The one who is excessively kind might be desperately seeking acceptance. And the most curious part? They don't even realize it. This is how the theater begins. A performance created not to deceive, but to survive. Yet there's something even the best actor cannot hide. The tension, the discomfort. That moment when the body reveals what the mind wishes to conceal. It's there that the mask slips, and the true self begins to emerge. Second truth, what someone hates most in others is often what they cannot accept in themselves. This is called projection. The woman who accuses everyone of being arrogant might be struggling with her own ego. The one who criticizes other people's bodies excessively may not be able to stand the reflection she sees in the mirror. Want to truly understand someone? Pay attention to what they criticize and ask, why? Third truth, silence screams, much louder than words. The averted gaze, the long pause before the answer. That rehearsed speech, delivered too quickly. All of this reveals what the heart still doesn't have the courage to admit. And the scariest part, most people don't even realize they're being read. But now you know. And the next truth shows you that even kindness can be a disguise. And when this happens, something much deeper is trying to hide. There's something curious about those who constantly feel the need to show how good they are. The louder someone boasts about their own virtue, the greater the chance they're trying to hide something. Fourth truth, exaggerated virtue is often disguised vanity. Those who insist on appearing pure, correct, or superior are, in truth, engaged in a desperate struggle to prove, perhaps to themselves, that they are worthy of love. Machiavelli viewed this as a hidden desire for power. After all, authentic goodness is silent. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need an audience. So the next time someone seems too good, pay close attention. Not to judge, but to understand. What are they trying to prove? And to whom? Fifth truth. People lie to themselves before they lie to the world. I'm fine. I don't care. I've moved on. These are phrases the mouth repeats until the heart believes them. But behind these soft lies, there lives someone weary, someone who learned to smile even while hurting, because it was the only way to keep standing. Machiavelli didn't see this as weakness, but as a strategy for emotional survival. Lying to oneself is often the only way to avoid falling apart. Sixth truth. Those who think they're superior usually fear being nothing. That's why they need to assert themselves constantly. They need to be right. They need to win arguments. They need to dominate conversations. But look closely. Behind the firm speech, the confident tone, there's a clenched jaw, a contained anxiety. It's as if the body is shouting, "Listen to me, I'm not that strong." And now that you're seeing this, it's time to discover the true driving force behind almost all human behavior. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to disappear without a trace? Or how they over-explain something simple? Or say yes when everything about them screams no? It's not about weakness. It's about fear. Seventh truth. Most human actions arise from fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of abandonment. Fear of looking too vulnerable to be accepted. Machiavelli didn't view fear as a flaw, but as a hidden driver. An invisible push that directs choices, behaviors, and silences. If you want to truly understand someone, don't ask what they want. Ask what they fear losing the most. Eighth truth. Constant criticism is disguised confession. The man who mocks emotion may be fleeing from his own feelings. The woman who ridicules others' bodies might be fighting a war with her own reflection. And the one who points fingers all the time is often trying to deflect attention from something that still hurts them inside. It's as if they're saying, "Don't look at me. Look at everyone else's mistakes." Ninth truth. Forced confidence reveals unresolved guilt. That person who seems unshakable, always in control, always right, always above it all. But look closely. Notice the stiff neck, the overly forced smile, the urgency to prove that nothing affects them. It's the body trying to compensate for what the soul still carries in silence, an unspoken request for forgiveness, an unresolved mistake. 10th truth. Exaggerations reveal insecurity. Those who shout that they don't care usually care a great deal. The louder someone speaks about themselves, the more they try to drown out an internal doubt. And what if what you thought was strength was actually the most common disguise for fear? Fear can be masked in words, but the body never lies. That's why the 11th truth is one of the easiest to notice, yet one of the most ignored. Those who try to control everything around them are often at war within. The woman who needs to know everything, organize everything, foresee every detail, doesn't do this because she's strong. She does it because if she loses control on the outside, she'll have to face the chaos that exists inside her. Machiavelli called this emotional rigidity masked as order. The harder the shell, the more fragile what hides beneath it. 12th truth. Living in performance reveals emptiness. Just take a look for a few seconds at any social media. Calculated smiles, catchy phrases, an impeccable routine captured from every perfect angle. But behind the filter is someone who needs to be seen all the time because they fear not being remembered, even by themselves. And the most ironic part, the more this person tries to appear whole, the more they reveal the absence they feel inside. It's as if the soul is crying out, "Please, see me, hear me, acknowledge me." And you feel it. Even without being able to explain why, you feel it. Now everything begins to make sense, doesn't it? Do you remember that feeling of discomfort when you enter a place and sense that something is off, even when no one says a word? That's not imagination, it's perception. And what you're about to discover is why some environments feel suffocating, while others silently heal you. Have you ever walked into a space that seemed heavy, even before anyone spoke? Or looked at someone and sensed that something was wrong, even though their smile suggested otherwise? This isn't mysticism, it's insight, subtle, silent, yet precise insight. 13th truth, the entire body speaks, even when the mouth is silent. The tension in the neck, the stiffness in the shoulders, the glance that darts away a second before the response. All of this is a language, and you feel it before you even realize it. It's as if that person's body is asking for help, but in a way they don't yet understand. 14th truth, The atmosphere of a place reveals unspoken feelings. Sometimes a house is silent, but you can feel anger hanging in the air, or sadness lingering on the walls. Or that sensation that everyone is trying to disguise something no one has the courage to say. You've learned to ignore this, but you've always felt it. What Machiavelli said, and few understood, is that the mind can deceive, but energy cannot. And those who learn to listen to what isn't said see what most spend their entire lives trying to hide. But now, knowing this, comes the most important question. What will you do with this power? Will you judge? Will you point fingers? Or will you choose something much rarer? Understanding? The answer is just one step away. And the next truth could change the way you see even the most difficult people in your life. Now that you know how to see, what will you do with that perspective? This is the question that separates those who merely observe from those who truly awaken. Because yes, you can use all of this to judge, to expose, to confront. But what if the true power lies in the opposite? 15th truth. Most people aren't trying to deceive you. They're trying to survive, with the tools they have, with the traumas they carry, with fears they've never had the courage to confess, even to themselves. Exaggerated kindness might just be a plea for love. Arrogance can be a poorly placed shield. Anger might be fear, struggling to find a way out. Machiavelli said that judgment is a form of elegant blindness. You point fingers and believe you are seeing, but in reality, you're just trying to protect yourself from the part of you that you recognize in the other. 16th truth. The pain that irritates you most in others and is usually the pain you haven't healed in yourself. It's like looking into a cracked mirror. You see the shadow, but you don't recognize the face. Now, imagine looking again, with new eyes, not with anger, but with compassion, not with judgment, but with clarity. And what if, in seeing the other with such clarity, you ended up seeing yourself for the first time? This answer only emerges when we have the courage to face the reflection. And that's what awaits you now. You've spent your life thinking you were looking out at the world, but in truth, you were looking at yourself, through others. The woman who irritates you with her coldness may reflect the love you've repressed. The one who exposes too much, talks too much, exaggerates, may show you the freedom you haven't allowed yourself to feel. 17th truth. The world is a mirror that only reflects what you have yet to dare to confront. And when you begin to see, it's no longer possible to pretend you didn't see. What bothers you in others may be exactly what you lack, or the wounds you suffered before you learned to defend yourself. Machiavelli said that unaddressed pain becomes poison, and this poison seeps into relationships, into words, into silences, until you find the courage to stop and ask yourself, is it possible that what hurts me most in others is what scares me the most about myself? 18th truth. Freedom begins when you take off your own mask, not the mask you show to the world, but the one you've forgotten you were wearing. And maybe, just maybe, behind the armor, there's someone who has never been seen, someone who is still quietly screaming for freedom. But this freedom comes at a price, the courage to see yourself as you truly are. Now, with all these truths laid bare, the only choice left is, will you continue to play a role? Or will you finally start living? Now that you see, you can no longer pretend you haven't seen. You've learned to perceive the silences, to read the eyes, to notice the exaggerations. You've realized that people aren't false. They're just trying to survive in the best way they know how. More than that, you've begun to see yourself too. The truth is, we're all playing a part, each with our role, each with our defenses. But life doesn't happen on the stage. It happens when you choose to step off it. And that decision isn't grand or cinematic. Sometimes it begins with a simple gesture, a no you've always been afraid to say, a request for help, or just the necessary silence to finally hear yourself. You don't need to hide anymore. You don't have to appear strong all the time. You don't need to prove anything. You simply need to be, without fear, without masks. And if this video has stirred something within you, it's because you've already begun the process of seeing, of feeling, of coming back home. But before you go, let me share one last thing. There is a 19th truth. It's rare. It's not here, but it's in this other video. It's about a type of power that no one has ever told you about. The kind of freedom that cannot be captured in words. And perhaps it's exactly what you've been searching for. Click here, you'll understand why later.